This video is discussing how to dump our debris at DEMCON. So we have two locations we dump. We have two separate accounts at DEMCON, one for sanitary and one for storm. So basically this truck can take more dirt, maybe not double the amount, but at least half a more dump box. You don't want it too heavy or it gets dangerous when you're driving. Before you take off, just make sure that everything's closed. This back thing is closed, that these chains are set. Go ahead and check your tires, because we don't drive this truck every day, but check your tires and make sure that they are good to go. Shortly I'm going to walk you through the brief on how to go there, but I'm just going to show you the functions of the truck for when you're actually ready to dump. We'll start the vehicle up. Okay, once we got the vehicle started and you get to the place where you want to dump, you can see this is the lever that you're going to use. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on the hydraulics. You'll actually hear the hydraulics turn on. When you're dealing with a heavy load, you're going to want to give it a little bit of gas just so it's got more energy. Flip the safety latch up and you pull back to raise the dump. You push it forward to lower it. When you're done using it, make sure you put the safety latch on and turn the hydraulic pumps off so we don't wear it out. So I'm not going to raise the dump up because I'm not actually on site and I don't want to dump it here. But you're going to raise that dump all the way up, bring a shovel with. As you can see, we always carry a shovel in here. Bring a shovel with because you'll probably need it to scrape some of it out. Once you're done dumping it, make sure that your latch is closed right before you drive off of the site. Okay, next I'm going to walk you through the actual procedures, going there, figuring out how to dump, where to dump, how to pay, and the routes there and back. Okay, couple points. Make sure that you have a high visibility shirt. Have to have it or they won't let you in there in the site to dump. Make sure that you have your company card. We do not have a credit account with DEMCON, so you will need a card on your person to pay for the dumping fees. And finally, remember this truck is heavier than you are used to. So drive cautiously. We got a lot of debris in the back. Here's the address that you'll type in to get yourself there. Here's the route. Pretty straightforward. You can take a left or go straight here, but essentially we're going straight west until we hit 169. We take 169 down until you get to the off ramp for DEMCON. Obviously, be careful on 169. Getting up to speed and stopping. Remember, you have that vehicle is heavier than you're used to when you're driving. If you want to stay off of 169, you can go north here and you won't have to get on 169 at all. It's only about a 10 to 15 minute drive. Once you get off the off ramp, or if you're staring off 169, if you come this way, you will take the first left that you can take on the DEMCON drive. And when you come to your first four-way stop, you're going to take a right. Okay, so when you come to that first four-way stop, if you look to your left, it's kind of like a dead end. You'll see trucks sitting there a lot. If you need to sit there for some reason to get your vehicle ready, go in there and do a U-turn, whatever you need. But when you come in, you're going to it'll be a four-way stop. You're going to take a right, and you'll start to see the weigh station in front of you. Okay, this is that four-way stop. To the left here, as I told you, sometimes you see trucks waiting. They'll park there until they go across. But we're going to take a right. You can follow the DEMCON sign, which you see right here, and it gives you directions on where to go. Once you take that right, this is what you're going to see. These are the weigh stations. It's two lines going in, two lines coming out. So sometimes it'll be a real long line here. Just stay to the right, be patient, and you'll get up there eventually. So as you can see, this is one line. There's actually another line right here. They must have it shut down because no one's in that line. This is what you're pulling up to, though. There's this. You can see the line's actually shut down. They've only got one lane open, green. So you pull in here. Don't get on the weigh station until the person in front of you has actually paid and pulled off. Once they've paid and pulled off, then you can drive on to the actual scales. So you can see here's the scale line. This guy must already be pulling off because the second guy is starting to pull up. But don't cross this barrier right here. You'll start to put weight on the guy in front of you. So you just got to be patient. When they move, then you can pull up. Here's the teller's window. Once you arrive, you need to weigh in. They're going to count how much to weight vehicles. Don't enter the scale until the guy in front of you is already gone. Once the scale is clear, then you can go ahead and drive on. Pull up to the teller's window. Once you pull up to the teller's window, go ahead and turn your vehicle off so she can hear you. Or engines are loud, that sort of thing. Turn your vehicle off, and she will ask you a couple questions. First thing they'll probably ask you is, what are you dumping? And you'll tell them just dirt, just dumping excavation dirt. Anytime we're dumping storm dirt, you just tell them we're dumping excavation dirt. They'll ask you where it's coming from. You can specify it if you need to, but otherwise you can just tell them it's coming from Scott County. Tell them the city if you need to, but usually this asks you which county, and you can tell them Scott County. They may ask you what it is. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just use this verbiage if it's storm. It's just excavating dirt from in and around storm lines. If it's a newer employee, they may ask you more questions. If that's the case, just tell them we have an account under pipe services. When we dump sanitary sewer, we use that account and we pay by the pound. However, this is just excavating dirt from in and around storms. So we're just going to pay by the yard, regular dirt. On the other hand, if you're dumping sanitary, so we never mix the two. If you're dumping, and if we do mix them, then we have to say we're dumping sanitary. But in any case, if we're dumping sanitary, you tell them, I'm with pipe services. We have a cash account under pipe services, our account number, and then you give them our account number. We do not have a credit account, so we have to pay with card when we check out, meaning that you're going to have to pay right then and there. We can't just put it on credit because we don't have a credit account. But they're going to need to know it's an industrial cash account, and that's our account number, 17726. Then they will ask us where it's coming from. We tell them Scott County. If they're having trouble finding our account, they can give John Penn there. We can give him his name. That's his phone number, and they can call him and figure it out, but it shouldn't be a problem. So bottom line is, when we're dumping storm, we just pay by we pay by the yard, just like it's excavating dirt. If it's sanitary, we're going to have to give them our industrial account number, and then we got to pay by the pound at that point. So they'll weigh you in. At that point, you'll follow the people in front of you. You're going to take a right, and you're going to take an immediate left. Now, at this point, it can start to differ. There'll be signs. They'll tell you what zone to go through. You're going to have to follow the signs. It can change. It'll always be changing because they're always moving these piles around. But for example, you might drive in. Lots of times the excavating dirt is getting dumped here, and the sanitary stuff is getting dumped here. So you have to follow the signs, and a worker will give you the direction. So basically, follow the instructions from the teller. Usually they'll tell you to go to zone 1. Once you enter that zone, the exact dumping location is always going to be changing. Essentially, follow the guy in front of you and look for people that are dumping like items. Usually you'll see a line of guys dumping with trailers, like household trash, that type of thing. That's usually where our sanitary dirt will go. You could dump there. If we've got excavating dirt, then look for excavators dumping, and you could dump there. Worst case scenario, just go, if they direct you to the with the excavating dirt, if they direct you to the household stuff, that's fine. It's their dump site. They can do it all they want. Bottom line is, it's a little bit of a crapshoot because it's always changing. At some point, some worker will yell at you and tell you where to go. You can always ask them. But this is the general makeup. After you clear the scales, you'll take a right. Usually you're going to zone 1. Once you go down a hill into zone 1, go where you got to go. Once you're done, leave the same way you entered. If you dump storm, then there's no need to pay because you've already prepaid by the yard. If you've dumped sanitary, then you're going to have to, when you exit, you're going to have to go in you can't bypass the scales. You got to pull up to the teller window. They'll weigh you out. You give them your credit card, you'll have to pay by the pound. You might have to remind them, because the two tellers don't always talk. I have an industrial cash account under pipe services. I weighed in, give them our account number, 17726. They'll check you out, and you'll have to pay with the card right then and there. So this is when you're exiting. Remember, you're going to stay to the right when you exit. These are the two exiting scales. This is the exiting scale right here. And if you did sanitary, you're gonna have to weigh yourself out and pay. If you did storm, you did excavating dirt, you've already paid because you paid by the yard. You can bypass it, just go to the right, and you're home free. That concludes the video how to dump. Key pieces: make sure you understand if you're dumping sanitary or storm. Make sure you got a credit card on you. Make sure you got high vis on you. Make sure you're driving safely, and listen to the teller when you get on site. Give the office a call if you've got any questions.